Hello, 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 everybody. How are you guys doing? I have something going on here. I got to send Tom and. Oh no, I hope I didn't turn that off. Hold on. I have to send Tom and Faith another different kind of link, I think. Hold on a second, guys. Trying to get it together. All right. Okay. Just making sure everyone gets it. Let me send this one to Tom. Tom is a Skype guy, so I got to see it on Skype. I will be right with you guys. Just got to make sure he's got the right link. All right. Okay. I think that he'll have all the right stuff. Okay. So, how are you doing, guys? Please type in the chat box if you can hear me, and if everything is fine. I'm gonna put on my banners now and see if we could get this party started. Right. I'm gonna bring everybody on. Hey, Karen. Oh my God, this is great. This is great. It's great to see you. I feel happy about that. Yes. Oh, that's great. That's great. How you doing, Clutch? What's going on, my friend? All right, I'm gonna add Faith first, and then Tom when he comes, if he's not busy. Hold on, let me click on this to add Faith to the show. Good morning, Faith. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
You're so funny when you say good morning because you sound
I
so
know
serious. Good
it's
morning,
all
babe.
professional.
Good morning.
It's like when there's a guest on, it's like there's another level to like I seem somehow bigger or something when there's another. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but anyway, it is what it
Well,
is.
it's funny to me because you're like, hello, hello, hello. And then as soon as
Hello, hello,
you have a guest,
hello.
like, good morning, Teresa.
Yeah,
Who's Clutch?
Clutch is right there.
No, I
Oh,
know. I
you
just
guys
can't
have a
do his
little
face.
thing.
Good morning,
Oh,
Clutch.
look, there's Shannon is right there.
Hey, Shannon.
Good morning. They were playing Mario Kart and they were cooking pancakes and sending me pictures of pancakes. I want to
Ooh,
go there.
I want to be there.
They have everything, all the stuff that I need.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
But I played you know, I played Mario Kart. That was like one of the last game, like Super Nintendo, I think, was like the last time I played video games. Now we're talking mid '90s now, and Mario Kart was like a big deal
Yeah,
back then when it
yeah,
first came out.
I loved it.
Did you you played it too?
Yeah, I
I,
loved it.
yeah, Mario Kart was cool.
Ricky got one, and like one of the ones that I had as a kid. He got one a couple years ago, and I was like, "Oh, the nostalgia is kicking my butt."
You mean like a video game system from when you were a
Yeah,
kid?
yeah, the console. I was like, "What?" And the same games that I played as a kid. I was like, "Oh man, this is crazy!" And then
That
watching
is
the boys
crazy.
play together, it was so great. I loved it.
I wonder if they still have like old Ataris,
I
with
think
like Defender and Asteroids and Centipede and all that.
yeah,
But if you think about it, right, with the video games like with Atari, they were indoctrinating us so bad. They like they had space games, right? And then what was it? I just said it. Centipede, right, with all this snakes and serpents, right? And then
yeah.
what else did they have? All kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, a lot. I just remember. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Constant indoctrination.
Yeah,
I
and
was
back then I would never have thought of it as like bad or indoctrinating at all. I would have just it's fun, it's fun.
well
Now
think
I see it all and it's like, oh man, this is going back when I was a kid.
well think about this, right? When my parents were kids, right? They had Flintstones, right? Which is like, cavemen and all that crap, right? And then you have the Jetsons, which is like all about like the future and flying around in space, right? And
Hmm.
They had Bullwinkle, right? Which is all about like Russian spies and men on the moon, stuff like that, crazy stuff. So it's like constant indoctrination even in their day, you
Yeah,
know?
see, when I was growing up, my mom's favorite cartoon was Pinky and the Brain.
Oh my God.
I don't know
Let
if
me
anyone remembers that,
let
but it
me
was
let,
all
let me
about
let me invite Tom real
taking
quick
over
to
the
the show.
world.
Hello, Tom. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Scooby
Oh,
Dooby Doo.
say that again. Say that again, Faith.
Hey,
I was
Tom.
like,
How you doing, Faith?
I interrupted your Pinky and the Brain thing. Go ahead and say that again.
So that was my mom's favorite cartoon when I was growing up. I don't know what her favorite cartoon was when she was growing up, but when I was growing up, her favorite cartoon was Pinky and the Brain, and it was all about um, what are we going to do today? We're going to take over the world.
Yeah,
And
but
now when I think of it, it's like, wait, that is the plan. That is the
Absolutely.
plan.
This
yeah,
stuff goes back to the beginning of radio, TV, everything.
everything
Yeah.
all the way back. Because like I remember, especially I know nobody likes to talk about it, but like with the transvestigations and stuff. I mean, it goes way back to like the 30s. I mean, like as soon as TV was on, they were doing that stuff.
Well, you
But
figure anyone who doesn't believe that these people aren't influenced by fallen angels, you're
yeah,
just deceiving yourself. I mean, there's no way man has this knowledge to come up with this kind of stuff, especially at the beginning of, hey, let's create a radio so we can fool the world. This stuff is implanted in these people's brains. They're given the technology and then they're told how to use it.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
no way one of us would have come up with that.
No, and then they fill their pockets with gold and silver.
Yeah, they took it all.
Absolutely.
They took it all, and it's all locked up. They have it all.
They have it
They gave
all.
they gave us paper, and then they wanted the paper too.
It's a
Right.
reserve note.
Like
Yeah,
like when I go back and I hear about Nikola Tesla, I'm like, there's no way that he thought of this crap on his own.
No.
yeah.
No way.
No, I wonder if he was even a real guy because you only see
Yeah,
that one picture of him.
yeah, I wondered that too. Like I'm like, wait, this guy that's not a human. Is that a human?
Well, if you type in his name and then conspiracy after it, you'll get no results at all. But if you type in Einstein and conspiracy, there's tons of stuff.
Einstein
So
was
it's
an idiot.
weird. It's weird. Like, you know what I mean? You almost think that like if there's no corruption, is that even a real dude? Like sometimes I wonder, I know this is going too far, right? I know I'm into the weeds here, right? But sometimes I'm like, what was George Washington real? Was any of these people real? Like, how did they make that mountain with all those faces on it? Is
Yeah.
that what they say it is? Or was that from like way back in the day, like giants did that or something?
Well, they got video of them people doing. You talking about Mount Rushmore?
Right. I mean, they're hanging there. They got the ropes and all that, right? But like, did they really do it? You know what I mean? Like, or is it that all staged too?
I think there's some truth, and I'm sure people had the ability to do stuff. I mean, I'm not that
Yeah.
far into
Would
the conspiracy part of it, but you never. I mean, honestly, Steve, you just
would
don't
it shock
know.
you? Would
It
it
wouldn't
shock
shock
you?
me at all.
Yeah.
No,
No.
no, it would
That's
not.
that's the crazy part about this thing, right? Like I pretty much believe like the narrative on stuff like that, but like I do question it, like because
There's a
here,
channel I watch. I believe it's called Everything Inside Me. I think that's the name of it. I could be wrong, but and it's got like a robot voice play over or whatever, which it's kind of annoying because I don't like the robot voice. But he shows like I think it's a he. I can't really say, but he shows a lot of Tartaria,
yeah,
and really old buildings, and it's like, how are these made? Like
That stuff
Right.
is interesting. That stuff is very
it's
interesting.
very interesting because it's like, yeah, like why are these giant arches, and it's like, how are those made?
Well, the thing that really gets me right is that there was no like glass manufacturing where like they did everything in mass or whatever. So all that glass work with all those curves and angles and all that was all done by hand, you know?
Yeah,
And
handmade.
they're yeah, and they're trying to say that like so all this was built before the portable diesel engine, you know? So it's just I don't know. You wonder was there
Right. And
technology,
and
you
they didn't
know?
have in those days, they didn't have cranes or,
Crazy.
bulldozers. All they had horses and buggies. Like, how was this made?
They must have had I don't know, man. They must have had technology and then just
It's
Very,
just
did
very
we
large
don't
people.
know.
you
Very large
know
people did this stuff.
yeah,
Big,
it's like
big
I'm saying,
ones.
I believe that.
because like I do believe this, right? I do believe that people before us, like okay, so I believe we're a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. So I think that we're devolving, right? And in my opinion, and then I think that there were super genius people, in history like that, like closer to the beginning of creation. But I also believe that they had technology and hid it from us, or it got wiped out somehow.
Well,
And
and when you
so,
read the book of Enoch, I mean, it talks about how these fallen angels gave man they even
Right.
showed women how to wear
right,
makeup. I mean,
Yeah.
how to do fight. I mean, everything. And I think there was good angels that came down and taught Adam and Eve the right way of doing stuff so they could actually survive. But then the bad ones were here too to corrupt, just like Satan corrupted Adam and Eve in the garden.
yeah, teaching us about war and stuff. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, you name it.
Absolutely. There were angels that taught humans how to make weaponry,
Yes,
and
yes,
like you said, taught women how to make makeup and wear makeup,
yes.
and all, but they also taught men to wear makeup as well to deceive.
yeah,
And
unbelievable.
I think that's where we are today. Like, look at what's his face? I can't something Star, Jeffree Star.
Don't know
Oh
who that.
yeah,
Dude,
wow,
dude,
man,
dude,
poor
dude can
guy.
do better makeup than me. I'm like, what? You're a dude.
Yeah, but I see
But
a
he's
monster
made his
like that.
career off of it.
No, but like I see a monster like that, right? And I just feel so bad for him, right? He doesn't know it, but like I hurt for him, man, because it like he's so far gone, man,
I
But they
feel
don't realize it. They don't realize it. You know what I mean? Like he thinks he's okay, but he's not. He's in a real bad shape.
Why do you think they think it's okay though? They don't realize it because I mean their minds are deluded. I mean they've fallen for the lie. I mean they
Yeah.
choose to accept that, right?
Yeah, he's got lots of money, millions and millions
yeah,
of dollars.
It's
yeah,
all gonna
that,
burn.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what that I don't know. That's the desire of his heart. Is
Yeah.
it's for the money.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't want to be, like a freak like that though. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't
I know.
not you know what I mean? Not saying that he's not a human being, right? Or that I'm anything special, right? But I wouldn't intentionally make myself a freak. And I feel like that's a psychological thing, right? Like
A big part of it is yes.
and you
Hmm.
just want to like, get that guy a straitjacket, right? And be like, okay, we're gonna fix you, man. We'll get you straightened out, you know? And that's not
In an
how it works.
upright world, that would be the right thing, I think.
And I
But
And
think
even
growing
when
we're
you
an
go
upside
back to
down world.
the book of Enoch too, it talks about how man even corrupted or these angels, I mean the fallen angels corrupted even like wildlife, the fish and
Oh yeah.
mammals and stuff. I mean, when you hear these stories of these, like say a mermaid is a good example, some of that
yeah,
stuff there probably was some truth to that because they were mixing DNA with everything. These
yeah,
aren't stupid beings. I mean, these are way, way more advanced than we'll ever be till we get raptured up out of here.
that's right.
So I
Oh,
Absolutely.
mean,
absolutely. They're absolutely they're very, very smart and very cunning.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I don't I don't think mermaids are a myth.
I
Because
don't either.
they were corrupting all.
The
They
seed
were
of
corrupting.
everything.
Yeah, the seed of everything, and they still are. Nothing has changed. We're in the
Agree.
days of Noah.
I agree. I agree. Nothing's changed.
Well, I think like of course there's every new advancement when it comes to like medical technology as far as like being able to mess with our genes or whatever. Like there's always going to be like the mad scientist type people, or government people that are going to authorize things that are just like probably unthinkable, and not everybody follows the law, and it's I bet there's some absurd things around now that we just don't know about.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, like I saw this video, and it's like, what I think they um did a heart transplant. I believe it was a heart transplant with
Hmm.
a human heart transplant. And they put a pig's heart.
that's
Yes.
act- that's actually common. Did you know that?
They've been doing
Yeah,
that for decades.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, oh, this is not, no, no.
I know a guy that got all of his arteries and stuff redone with like cow arteries or something like that. Is that
Yeah,
crazy?
Bubba said
They
it.
they
Genesis
are
6:8-10.
And they do it
yeah,
just because they can.
strange flesh, right?
They're always
Corrupted.
trying to mix us with the animals and stuff like that. They're always trying to do freaky stuff to us, right?
Right.
Right.
And I believe that's why the scripture says, if the Lord doesn't cut the days short, there'll be no flesh left.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you think that once you say mix like transhumanism and mix like say DNA with animals or something that you become something other than human? Like
Well,
is
you're
that
not
like
fully human, right? I mean, you can't be.
right, but like as far as salvation's concerned, right? Like if you become part robot, is this going to be part of that mark of the beast thing or
No, the mark of the beast
yeah.
is the mark. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna get drilled into your hand or your forehead. I mean, and that
Yeah.
exactly is how it's going to be. That's why this special sauce isn't the mark. It may be a lead up in getting people used
Yeah.
to having these things injected into them, but they're not
Yeah.
the mark. I mean, the
Right.
mark is exactly what it says it is.
I think it's going to be like the
Right.
ID, right? You know what I
It's
mean?
it,
Some
it's
form of a chip.
it's going to be something that you choose. It's not going to be something
Oh yeah.
that's
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
you're going to have to choose it. Um, Obviously, that's
Yep. Yep.
the it says in the scripture that they'll be in awe, and we'll
No
be worshiping.
man,
It's
no
a choice, though. It's a choice.
I mean, and people will get scared into it or their livelihood is at stake, but that's the choice we have to make, either
Mhm.
friendship with the world or salvation through Jesus Christ, right? I mean, if you choose the
Yeah.
world's way, yeah, you may live for an extra couple of years or so, but look what the torment that's coming.
oh yeah.
I'm ready. I had a buddy in here this morning and we were talking. I've never been so ready to really just be out of this world. It's unbelievable. I
Yeah.
mean, and I can say that and mean it fully.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just one evil, wicked place we live in, and it's not going to lighten up. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And I just
I
pray that
mean,
everybody listening who isn't saved accepts Christ, because I mean,
yeah.
your time is short.
I'm happy to be alive. I love my family. I love that I can be able to tell people about Jesus Christ and the gospel, but I'm so done with this world.
Like you have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm done with it. I
Hmm.
hate this world. I literally hate this world. But I love humankind. I love people. So
Right.
when I say that, please don't make me seem like I hate people. I love people. I want everyone, of course, but I'm so done with this world.
I hear you. I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're saying. I mean, we love things that we do. We love our friends. We love family and stuff like that. But I
Yeah,
don't love them more than I love Jesus Christ. And I'm
no.
waiting for him to come get us out of this mess because we're going to be with him again in heaven and not have this mess.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So it's not like we're losing our family when we go to heaven. We're going to actually gain. because everybody
Right.
that we have lost throughout our lives are going to be waiting for us if they accepted Christ as their savior.
Very good point. And I think that like as soon as Jesus comes back, right? I mean, beyond what I want for myself, which is I want out of here, right? But beyond what I want for myself is the moment he comes back, all that pain that everyone's going through right now, abuse or whatever, that all stops,
Gone
And
for good.
so yeah, and so whatever, like even if you got something good going on, right? And you want to live a couple more years, think about like the other people that can't wait for him to come back. Like it's in a God-centered world, we should all want him to come back. I
Yeah,
think.
absolutely.
I know I do.
And the only thing, right, that I can think of, right, is that more time to spread the gospel to more people. But I know that either way, it's going to be the way God had it in mind. It'll end the way he has envisioned anyway, regardless, right? And so I trust him, with that.
I tell you what, and who in here doesn't want to have a little chat with Adam and Eve and be like,
Oh,
"Yo,
I'd love
bruv,
to.
what
Yeah,
did you do to us?"
I
It's like,
know.
"Yo, we gotta talk here." You know what I'm saying, homie?
Yeah,
I know you're like my great 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 grandfather, but dude, you
yeah,
played us.
I know.
What happened?
You know what? Yeah. What's up with that? You know what I mean? Why didn't you just tell Eve, no, put that down, girl?
Yeah, what did you
Like,
do?
like, what would
Seriously
you?
though,
But what would you do? Like, okay, so you're on the other side, right? And all your relatives are up there. Like, some dude comes up to you. He's like, "Hey, I'm Romulus Parker. I'm like your great 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 granddaddy." Like that's gonna be weird, huh?
I'd be like, peace, bruv.
Like, what's up, man? Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
But I mean, we're gonna talk with these people. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
we're gonna have conversations with these
Oh yeah, I want
people,
to
and
see if Aristophanes is a real guy,
right,
man.
he won't be in heaven, but
No, 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 no.
if we get a chance to holler at him, anyways,
Yeah,
right?
at least know about him, right?
What do you
Because
guys?
I
Do
want
you
to
guys
know how I
see?
want to know how he looked into a well, right? And then 500 miles away, ran down there, I guess, right? 2,000 years ago, right, was what they're saying, to see a shadow from the sun.
Well, someone else was supposed to be there, but I like to know how he communicated with that other guy.
Right, right,
How
right.
you get that signal over there, bro? Like, come
Yeah, I'll
on now.
yell.
But I mean, that's the stuff that we're led to believe in.
They mock us, man. They mock us, man. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
good time.
If you think people went to the moon, walked around, jumped around on the moon, right? And they only took 6 times, right, is what they're saying, right? And it safely, everybody went there and back, right? And only one person took a picture of the Earth. Like, wouldn't that be the thing that you'd be thinking about the most if you're on the moon? Like, damn, look at the Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
But
big ball, bruv.
yeah, but they didn't take one picture of the Earth. They took pictures of the moon up close.
Yeah.
That's so dumb, man.
What a crap though.
Yeah, I
I
mean, I
can't
mean,
believe
I, I
I
mean,
can't I
I,
can't
Hey, I'll
believe
be
it.
right back, guys.
yeah, I don't blame my parents, right, for like falling for that because TV was kind of new and you're like, oh, okay, why would they lie, and it's exciting and it's kind of you're patriotic. I get it. I get that
Oh,
whole
it was big
sentiment, right?
time for my mom. It was big time for my mom. Who was in office at that time?
Nixon.
She was really about that guy. And
Oh, you mean Kennedy? You mean Kennedy?
Kennedy,
Yeah,
yeah, she was
yeah,
really about Kennedy. And I was like, a couple of years later, I was like, Mom, this is a farce. And I kept trying to
yeah.
show her, and she was like, what? No. And I was like, yeah,
And
look at this.
not
She,
only that, but even the Kennedy assassination could be a farce.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
he might not have been. I mean, it's so hard, right? The more truths you go through, right? Some of
Well,
them hurt, man. Some of them hurt,
yeah,
when you find
it's hard.
out.
It is hard when you learn the truth about these things. But
Yeah.
I mean, just look at their graves. Is it Kennedy's grave that's in the shape of a Q? and
Yeah,
then
it
Werner
is.
Werner Braun or whatever. It literally says, the Psalm. I think it's Psalm 19.
Yeah, someone.
Psalm
Now
one.
you got me. I
So,
knew it before you said it.
sorry, but the
But
firmament showeth his handiwork. Like
that's
it's
right.
right in your freaking face.
Yeah,
The world is biblical. Josh Sparrow's right.
yeah. I love Josh Sparrow.
I know,
I
me too.
do. I mean, just a humble guy, man. And I mean, he's probably our age, but he reminds me of a little kid,
He's
because
very, very
he's got
soft
that
spoken.
he's got that faith of a little kid,
Yeah, he seems really gentle and humble, and I just love the way, but he still breaks it down to where you can understand it.
And he keeps it simple, right? Like he does like 2-minute videos so that you can just share it with whoever,
Yeah,
and anybody will
yeah,
watch a 2-minute video.
he makes it very easy to see and very easy to understand, and I love it every time. He's like, he's got a NASA shirt on, and then he gives a little giggle.
Right,
Doesn't
exactly.
say anything about it. He just says he's got a NASA shirt on. It's funny.
That's why I get like, a little bit sensitive when like, we start doing the symbolism and stuff, right? Like not me personally, right? Because I don't ever really show myself, right? But like when us as a group, right, do it in our videos or whatever, is
Yeah.
that's like a thing that we're able to discern between us and them. And if we're doing it, it makes it harder to discern these things.
Yeah, like
And
I was
like,
just thinking the other day, Stephen, because sometimes I'll do like some so-called news or whatever where I just read the headlines and I'm really just trying to show the Ricky plaque. But I
yeah.
realized the other day that I have a Target bag, which I use as a garbage can in my garage, and it has a spiral on it. And I just
Oh
noticed that
my
the other day. I'm like,
God.
oh no, I don't want that. I don't want to be associated with that.
Right.
But it's like,
What's the spiral?
It's pedo stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. See, I'm not up
Yeah.
I
on all
have,
that stuff.
yeah, I have a Target bag which is hanging on a shelf in my garage, and I just use it for a garbage can. But I was just realizing, like, I think it was yesterday. Oh man, that has a spiral on it. I don't want anyone to think I'm associated with that crap.
You had a bag from Target.
It's a Target bag, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I have to be like, also there's this little container which has two skulls on it, which are painted skulls, which could be
Yeah.
Day of the Dead type looking stuff. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
I don't like that's not mine. That's Ricky's. I'm like, oh no, I don't
I
want
always, I always like, go ahead, Tom.
No, I was just gonna say that's unreal. Once your eyes are open, you see this stuff, how everything catches you, and you like
I
freak out
see it
about
in
it.
my own videos. I see it in my
Right.
own videos. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh
And you
Well,
and you
there's
don't
a,
mean anything by it at all, but you see it now, and it's like, man, because there are people whose eyes are open now, so you do have to be somewhat careful.
yeah, you have to know your audience, right? Because your audience will like, especially if you have truthers, right? They're gonna notice that, right? And
no.
yeah,
Right.
you can probably explain it away, and that's fine, right? But there are some things that I avoid, right? I avoid one eye stuff, right? I avoid doing the mark of the beast hand sign, right? I avoid um I mean there's a lot of like the numbers, right? And the color orange, right? Like those things are basic stuff that I ignore. I mean, and try to no, not ignore, but try intentionally try not to have on. If I can help it, I won't have it.
Right.
And it's not because I think that that stuff belongs to them, right? It's just that I know that like the people watching, this channel will notice that, and it helps us discern between us and them if we're not doing it, if we're mindful of it. Then I look at a channel and I don't see any symbolism, like, oh wow, this is safe for me, right? Because the moment you see it, you're like, oh man, this was a good channel. And
Right. I'll
there it
see
is.
channels and they'll have something in the background and I'll just be like, I kind of side eye, like good message, but I kind of side eye you because you have, a skull in the background or something. So I don't want to be like that. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's hard to untrain yourself once you can see it. And
Yeah.
Hmm.
then, I'm seeing all these, lightning bolts and numbers
Yeah.
and crazy stuff everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on, man?
Yeah, but you also have to understand that not
Yeah,
everything, not everyone is doing that on purpose. Sometimes it's just
Right.
they don't know. Sometimes they just
Well,
don't know,
well,
or they're
usually
not
like
conscious of it.
usually when I see stuff like that, I can kind of feel like a spirit behind it, in the sense that I can feel if there's kind of a jokey kind of feel to it, or if there's something nefarious. You can tell when somebody's trying to do something sneaky, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, you're not going to say to everybody, like, oh yeah, you got like a star hanging in your house, and it's like something your kid drew or something like that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's some discernment involved with that too. I'm just saying, like, if you can avoid it, right? And you notice it, I err on the side
Like,
of not doing it.
here's a good example. I don't know if you guys know Megan McGloverfold.
No.
Okay, so she was the one who was like, when Biden said our patience is wearing thin,
Okay.
and she was like, "You ain't my pimp."
Oh no, I don't know her. I like that.
I laughed. I laughed so hard, but I took a deeper look into her videos, and she was on Fox, she was on Newsmax, and then I saw one of her videos, and she was wearing the thin red Kabbalah
Yeah,
string on
yeah,
her
they
arm.
don't hide it.
And
Yep.
I was like, okay, wait a minute. Like, okay, yeah, she may be spewing some truth, and she is funny. Don't get me wrong. I like her spirit and all that. Like
Who?
when she was calling out Britney Spears for posting naked pictures on, I think it was Twitter. That
Who?
was
Who
funny.
was
She's
this?
like, "What are you doing, honey?" But I saw the Kabbalah red string, and I was like, wait a minute. There's something here.
Wait. Who was this again?
Megan McGloverfold.
So is she like a celebrity or something like that?
She was just a YouTuber. She's just a
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Usually when they have like the red Kabbalah band, that's yes, Jewish mysticism. It's like
Yeah,
with like
and then as soon as I
most of the
saw
Hollywood.
that red
Yeah.
string, as soon as I saw that red string bracelet, I was like, wait a minute, something's up. And I pointed it out. I actually had her, I did a video of her saying, "You ain't my pimp" to Biden. And I laughed. It was funny. It was a really crappy video I did, but it was funny. And then I rewatched it. Someone commented, and I was like, wait a minute. I saw the red string, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, I saw that too." And then two or three videos after, she was on Fox News, she was on Newsmax, and I was like, "Oh yeah, she's controlled opposition for sure. There's no way you're getting airtime
Yeah.
like that. There's no
Well,
way you're getting
well,
that kind of
sometimes,
airtime."
sometimes, like if there's a truth movement going and they can't stop it or do opposition, they'll just come in and mimic it, like they're the ones giving you the truth, and then they try to drag you another way spiritually. Like they'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, we're the ones that brought the flat Earth stuff," and they mimic it, what's already coming out. It's
I mean,
crazy some of
don't
these
get me wrong.
different things they do. You
She's
know,
funny. She's very, very smart and
she's on the
intelligent.
other side, right?
Yeah, but it's like she's kind of like a Joe Rogan to me.
I mean, as long as you know that, right? Like, there's people I watch that aren't Christian, or I know that they probably don't have good intentions for me, but some of their material's good in some ways, right? And you're
Oh,
like, you have to kind of pick and choose, because now I'm like, everybody. It's almost like everybody's bad. I hate to say
yeah,
it like that.
yeah. It's the same with me because I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Pockets of the Future.
Yeah,
I listen to him, but and I'm subscribed to him, but I
yeah,
just listen to him for information. I don't follow. He does meditation crap. I
yeah,
don't follow any of that. But it's like at first I unsubbed him because I was like, oh, I'm not into this meditation stuff. But then I resubscribed because I was like, he does give good information. He does seem to have a good heart.
yeah.
I
It's
just
kind of funny.
think he's a little misled in his spirituality. Oh, only spirituality will save the world. It's like, no, only Jesus Christ is going to
I
save you.
know it.
But
Amen.
yeah,
Yeah.
so there's information that
I remember when him and April got in a little fight or whatever, and he did all these videos about how like anti-Jesus videos, right? And he did like, I mean, I still watch some of his stuff because he's smart about some things, right? That I need information that I need, right? Which sucks, right? But I mean, he's an outspoken non-Christian, and then like he's anti-flat Earth too. Like
Right.
just straight denial, right? His proof video was like boats going over the edge, right?
Right.
And it
Yeah.
was like it was like not even an effort, you know? Like I don't know. He's an
Yeah,
anti-moon guy. You know,
I
that's how I got.
think I think that's what made me unsub, because I was like, this is just crap. But then
Yeah, how do you deny flat Earth? It's like so.
yeah.
Right now, it's not even a debate anymore. It's almost it's provable. Like it's not even like a close debate. You know how like if something was like, oh, there's a couple technicalities, or oh, it could look either way, that kind of thing, and then you pick a side, right? But this is not even like one of those things. It's like it's undeniable. I mean, we were lied to.
And
Like
you are dead right on that, Steve. It is so provable to see that lie because the information is there, and so much of it that if a person just spends 10 minutes looking, you have to at least think, man, that guy probably isn't crazy. He's onto something there. Whether you choose to believe it or not is on you, but you'll have to at least tell yourself, yeah, there's something fishy going on. And then
Mhm.
you just have to turn a blind eye to it.
yeah,
Because, I mean, it is there. I mean, it's easy to spot the lies. Not
Absolutely. It's extremely easy. I mean, yeah, they're making it harder, of course, because that's what they do. They try to conceal it.
they change their little narrative. As soon as we
right.
figure it out, they go, oh yeah, well, the light is bending and it's lifting the mountain 2 miles up to make it look flat.
But
And
here's
you're
the
like, what
thing
do
that
you
I don't
mean?
get on that. On them long
Yeah,
distance shots where they're saying it's a mirage or whatever it
right.
is, how come they're never bent backwards? I mean, the buildings and mountains would be on the curved side of it, so you'd be at least have the tips of them should be tilted somewhat, right? But
Yeah,
everything's always perfectly straight up and down. Nothing's ever angled. I seen Mount McKinley from over 200 miles away. I have a picture of it when I was in
yeah,
Alaska. It was straight up. There wasn't tilting. There was no leaning like it was coming off the curve because it'd have to
yeah.
be doing that, right?
It's undeniable.
Undeniable.
Okay, when you see like when you see a pond, and then there's like a mountain or whatever, and then the sun is above it, right? And you see like that perfect mirror image of the
Yes.
of the the
The
mountain and the sun
reflection.
and
Yep.
all that. The only way that you can get that reflection is if it's completely flat. Because if it's
And
curved,
motionless.
right, because if
Yeah.
it's curved, the reflection will go the other way.
Listen to
It'll
this. My 6-year-old came up to me yesterday. I was making them lunch, and he said, "Mom, if we're on a ball, how can we see so far ahead?"
right.
I was like, "Good question, buddy."
Well, when I
It's
grew
just
up in Upper Michigan, they got the world's largest man-made ski jump there. And you can in the
yeah,
summertime, you can actually go up there. You take like this ski lift up there, then you got an elevator and steps to go up even to the top of that thing. You can see 3 states in Canada from there.
Yeah.
So how I mean, why isn't the curve why can't you see any of that? Trees should be tilted back.
yeah.
Something
Nothing.
should be at least, let's just say you're not quite high enough to see the curve, obviously, but you should see stuff tilting somewhat. I mean, you're seeing hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if a boat is going over over the curve, right, it wouldn't be going down like an escalator. Like
I
you would see the
get
butt
that,
end
yeah.
of that thing going before, like just like a car going over a hill. The
Right.
the
And
butt the
Absolutely. The
yeah,
wouldn't
front end would go down first, the tail lights would still be there.
yeah. It wouldn't be like an escalator.
yeah.
That's
Just like an
crazy, man.
elevator, yep. Unbelievable.
It curves only in front of you, but not left to right.
See, and that's the thing I just cannot get away from. That's why no one can convince me otherwise, is no one can show that curve. They can never ever show curvature. And that's
Yeah.
all it takes for me.
Yeah.
And when you have these ships that they say are going over that, and someone takes a camera and zooms it right back in, right there has to just blow your mind. If you just let's say you don't believe in flat Earth, once someone does that, you have to know they're lying to you about something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Anne.
Well, think about this, right? Think about this, right? gray dust is not that reflective, really, right? They're saying that the sun is being reflected off the moon's surface, right? Well,
off
if
of the
there's
earth.
only one light source, right, and it's the sun, and the Earth is like 70% water on its surface, wouldn't the reflection of the water, because it's very reflective, wouldn't it just look like a fireball? Like, like why could we see the? You know what I mean? If the sun is hitting the Earth, that it's just so ridiculous to me. What they want us to believe is
Well,
just
see,
amazing.
yeah, how they say, excuse me, the sun is so many, I don't know, 93 something.
93 million
93
miles away.
million.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you can see a sunspot.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
what? That doesn't make sense.
It's
How
8
can
light minutes
that's
away.
far away? How is there a sunspot? Like what?
Yeah. The whole world would be a sunspot.
And yet, the higher you get,
Cold Springs Queen. No, no, we're done.
the higher you get, the colder it gets. Tell me that.
I know, I know. The more you raise in elevation, the colder it gets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But it's
how
so crazy.
you can
Go
see
ahead.
clouds behind the moon. You can see through the moon. Like, how can you land on something that you can see through?
Yeah, that's very fascinating too. Now I've seen the clouds behind it, and I've seen stuff where they said you can see through it, and I just really haven't been able to see it yet. Not saying it's not there.
In the daytime, you can see through it for sure.
Yeah, it's translucent.
Like the part
Even
that's okay. So like, let's say you have like a half moon or a crescent moon. In the daytime, you could see blue behind that thing, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's
even
like
yeah, and I
little
look at the
holes
moon,
in it, and you can see straight through it. There's blue through
Yeah.
it.
There's no dark gray spot on it.
right? No, I know, I get that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I have seen it like that. Never looked at it with those eyes. So
Yeah, I get
yeah, and
it.
in
Well,
fact,
Well,
the
that's
moon's
you
one
been
can
on.
look
thing
at
that I didn't.
you can
That's one
look at
thing that I
the
didn't notice. Right, was I never looked at the moon. Right, I didn't know that we only see one face of the moon. I never even knew that until I looked at flat Earth. I
Oh
thought
yeah,
the
I
moon
knew
spun
that.
around and everything. I didn't know.
Well, that's like the video like a year or so ago, because that would come out big with the flat Earth that you never see the dark side of the moon. So they came out with
Mhm.
that video with that supposed satellite taking a picture of the moon in the back, the
Oh
back side of the
yeah, that's
moon,
so
but they
Oh
fake.
yeah.
forgot
Yeah.
to add the sunlight to it.
Yeah.
Ah, that's right. That's right.
Because I was talking. Oh, I gotta go, guys. I'll
Okay,
be
see you
back.
later,
Okay.
Tom. Love you,
Take
brother.
care.
God bless you.
Love you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, NASA, never a straight answer.
But it's like, yeah. I mean, it's very crazy, right? Thinking about flat Earth and all that, right? And it was the hardest thing, like, for me to accept, right? Because I didn't want to see no flat Earth stuff, man. I was like, come on, man, that's ridiculous. There's some things that we just know. And I wasn't ready to strip my knowledge down to that, right?
Yeah.
But then, it just like, and then I was like, even thinking of like ways out of it, like, okay, well, what about radio waves? You could shoot radio waves to the moon. Anybody can do that, right? Like, what about, I mean, I was like thinking of everything, right? And to not believe it, and then it took me a year after I knew for sure inside of me that the Earth is flat for sure, right? It took
Yeah.
me a year to tell another human being in my real life.
And I thought about it, and yeah, it was 2015.
Oh
15.
yeah, you were before us, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
I didn't come in
the
until
only thing
17.
the only real thing that got me on it was when someone I still cannot remember their channel. I wish I could, but said it's biblical. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, all right, let's see. And they gave some scriptures, and I looked at them, I looked them up, and I studied them for about a year. And I was like, yo, this is absolutely biblical. It's and when we say flat, we don't mean pancake. We don't mean
Yeah,
pancake.
that's
We
right.
just we
It's
just mean it's not a spinning ball, a random spinning ball,
yeah,
and
and all that
there's
it
probably
means.
no such thing as space. I don't
Well,
think there's
this is what I'll say. The only thing, this is what it means for space to me, right? Is that everything is closer and smaller, right? It's still there. It's just different than what we were taught that it's an infinite place to go, right?
Mhm.
But in reality, it's this very close uh, created thing for us. right? And it
Yeah.
makes it so amazing, right? When you think about like, okay, yes, there could be these things in front of each other and blocking each other and all that. Like all that astrological stuff is happening, right? All
Mhm.
like because um astrology and all that stuff does line up. The enemy does use that, right? You
Oh, yeah.
can divine the future with it, even though we're not supposed to, right? But there's definitely no such thing as like I'm sure of. There's no such thing as like getting in a rocket and leaving this place and
No,
going anywhere. That's forget that.
no, all their rockets land in the sea.
Yeah,
They
and
all
it's like
they all
it,
curve toward the sea.
all that stuff is way closer. Uh, way closer. I don't
Well,
know
see,
how
and
far. I wish I knew,
the
but
scriptures don't say anything about planets. Those are just stars. They're just stars.
so there's stars that have um their own path, right? Because the
Hmm.
other stars are all like lined up and they all go in the same pattern, either clockwise or counterclockwise, depending, right? But the wandering stars have their own path, you know. And
Yes.
so I think, right, and it says this in the book of Enoch, but like this is my opinion too, right? Is that those are living beings out there. I think they're angels, and that's their job.
Excuse me. I
They're,
had to-
they're you know, I don't know what you think, right?
Right. Yeah. I think the same with the wandering stars.
Do
Um,
you do you think that it's like just light, or do you think that those are living beings up there?
oh man, some I believe are, because when you take a telescope or whatever it is that you can see, it looks like they're dancing. But what it looks like is like, frequency. You can, it's hard to explain. Someone did a really good video where they were really close up on certain stars, and it looked like they were like dancing.
Changing shape and
Yeah,
all that
changing
and
shape.
dancing.
Yeah, like how you see if you guys ever watch KJ's What's Happening, he's done a few videos on the graph. I'm not gonna say the whole word. And it
Yeah.
looks like, yeah, it's moving. There, like you can play music and it starts moving. It looks like it's dancing. That's kind of how certain stars look. Certain ones, not
Well,
all.
do you think that because like all the stars have names, right? Like do you think that like I don't know, it's like you don't name something that's not alive, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's just the way I look at it. Like if you have like a table or whatever, like if it has to have some kind of personality, right? Like you wouldn't I mean, I don't think you'd name a tree, but like all the stars have names, right? It just makes me feel like, and then when I like say you read the Bible, right, and in the Magi were following they say that that's the wise man story, right? The three wise men, but it's different in the Bible. But like they weren't following a, a star, where they were, right? They were following an angel to, and it makes more sense that way. The angel was leading them there, and it's like stars and angels are synonymous, right? Like
Yeah.
so, like in Hollywood, right? In Los
Absolutely.
Angeles is the angels, right? And then like they all have like these stars on the Hollywood Boulevard, right? And
Oh,
everyone's a star, and and they hand each other all these gold trophies all the time. And it's really like everything about that town is like all about angels and stuff, I think.
yeah. Well, that's about the fallen angels, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But yeah, I do believe you're right. I do believe that there are that a lot. But I'm not saying all the stars up there are wandering stars, but I do believe that there are angels still up there, and
me too.
we see
Tens
them
of
as stars.
thousands of them,
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably millions. And I think
yeah,
all the stars are angels, but
me
I'm
too.
like I'm not dead set on that.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
dead
not
set
against
either.
that on it either. But yet, the scripture. What did the Lord say to Abraham?
You'll have as many children as there are stars in the sky.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that all kind of leans that way. And I think they keep everything in order. And I think the stuff you see flying around up there, I think there's probably some bad angels up there, but I think some of them are good angels, making sure, like Enoch says, that
Yeah,
everything is keeping its course
The
and doing
Watchers.
its
Yeah.
job, doing what it's supposed to do, how everything moves and works up there. I mean, this is far beyond our comprehension.
absolutely.
Oh
It's
yeah.
definitely above my pay grade.
No doubt. It's deep. I mean, that spiritual world, I mean, it's real. It's something none of us humans need to mess with,
Hmm.
kind of understand it or just take it for what the Bible says. But don't be looking to get these people in your lives. Don't call on angels. You're not supposed to. If God wants you to have an angel, he'll send them to you,
Yeah.
and you start messing in that spirit world, you're going to have these demons come and you don't know which is which. And before you know it, you can be really messed up quick.
Yeah, see that's exactly what I think too. I think, okay, faith, just rely on biblical facts.
Yes.
Um, don't be going any further because I don't think the Lord wants us to do that. Like, yeah, the Bible does say that, they'll use the sun and the moon and the stars for signs and whatever, but
That's different, though.
that's different.
Yeah, that's different than wanting to see these people or have contact with these things. Because
Yes.
once you start really understanding scripture and starting to see how cool everything is and how awesome things are, a person may want to like look at, hey, I'd like to see an angel. No, you really don't, because usually when you see them, bad things are going to happen to somebody. And being
But
unspiritual and not
I'd be
extremely close to
scared.
God, like you're a prophet,
I'd be
you
terrified. I
think,
mean, if the Lord sends an angel, that's totally different. But I'm not
absolutely,
I,
don't go
I'm not
looking for them.
supposed to summon anything.
No, don't go looking for that stuff, because that spiritual world is way more powerful than we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish from the very beginning of our lives we were told the truth. Then we would really know. And it sucks that even like we have all these researchers that are relentless here, and we still like, have some differences of opinion on some things, right? I mean, it's good we found out some knowledge that we can rest on, right? And we can always rest on Jesus. And it's time. Guess what time it is, guys?
Dusty trail.
Time to hit the old dusty trail. And so I'll just say thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks
And
for having me.
yeah, of course. And then I'll say praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace, and all glory to God because he deserves it. And
Amen.
pray for the children. And I'll see you guys tonight at 7,
Love you
5
guys.
p.m.
God bless.